But here's what really blows my mind. It probably wasn't just one thing. It was probably all of these factors combining into a perfect storm of collapse. Think about it. Climate change disrupts your water supply and agriculture. This causes food shortages and forces people to migrate. Migrations and overcrowding in remaining settlements create conditions for disease to spread. Earthquakes destroy critical infrastructure that you no longer have the resources or population to repair. Trade networks break down because your partner cities are also struggling. The whole interconnected system starts to unravel. This is called systemic collapse, and it's how most civilizations end. Not with a bang, but with a cascade of failures that feed into each other until the whole structure falls apart. We see similar patterns in the collapse of the Maya civilization, the Bronze Age collapse in the Mediterranean, and even the fall of Rome. It's never just one cause. It's multiple stresses hitting at the same time. The Indus Valley people tried to adapt. We can see this in the archaeological record. Later phase settlements show changes in architecture and lifestyle. Some people moved to smaller, more dispersed villages. Others migrated east and south into the Ganges Valley. The civilization didn't vanish in the sense that everyone died. The people survived. Their genes are still in modern populations, but their urban civilization, their writing system, their distinctive culture, that's what disappeared. And this is what keeps me up at night. We have this incredibly advanced civilization that left behind thousands of artifacts, huge cities, and clear evidence of sophisticated knowledge. But we can't read their writing. We don't know what they called themselves. We don't know what their stories were, what their beliefs were, what warnings they might have tried to leave for future generations. Imagine if our civilization collapsed today, and 5,000 years from now, archaeologists dug up our cities. They could see we had advanced technology. They could see our infrastructure. But what if they couldn't read any of our writing? They wouldn't know about our wars, our philosophies, our sciences, our art. They'd be guessing, just like we're guessing about the Indus Valley. The mystery of the Indus Valley Civilization teaches us something important. It shows us that collapse can happen to anyone. These weren't primitive people. They were sophisticated urban planners with advanced engineering and far-reaching trade networks. If they could fall, any civilization can. It also shows us the importance of adaptability and environmental awareness. When your civilization is built around specific environmental conditions, changes to those conditions become existential threats. The Indus Valley people were incredibly skilled, but even their skills couldn't save them when multiple crises hit at once. Recent excavations continue to reveal new information. In the last few years, archaeologists have found more settlements, including some that survived longer than the major cities. These discoveries are helping us understand how the civilization transformed rather than simply ended. Some communities adapted by changing their lifestyles, becoming more rural and mobile. There's also ongoing work to decipher the Indus script. Computer analysis and comparison with other ancient languages continue, though success remains elusive. If we ever crack the code, it could revolutionize our understanding of what happened. Maybe they left warnings about climate change. Maybe they recorded the disasters that befell them. We just don't know yet. What we do know is that the story of the Indus Valley Civilization is a reminder that nothing lasts forever. Not even the most advanced societies are immune to environmental change, geological upheaval, or the complex cascading failures that lead to collapse. The empire that vanished overnight didn't actually vanish overnight. It took centuries. But from our perspective, looking back across 5,000 years of history, it might as well have been overnight. One moment, they're there, thriving and building. The next moment, in historical terms, they're gone. Just ruins and mysteries left behind. The people who built Mohenjo-Daro had no idea they were building monuments to a mystery that would baffle archaeologists thousands of years later. They probably thought their civilization would last forever, just like we do. They probably couldn't imagine a future where nobody could read their writing or remember their names. That's the real horror of forgotten civilizations. Not that they ended, but that they're forgotten. Millions of people lived, loved, built, created, and dreamed in the Indus Valley. They had stories and songs and beliefs that mattered to them. And almost all of it is lost to time. We have their bricks and their drains and their seals, but we've lost their voices. Maybe that's why this mystery hits so hard. It's not just about solving an archaeological puzzle. It's about remembering that these were real people whose entire world fell apart. And despite all their achievements, despite everything they built, they couldn't stop it. The Indus Valley Civilization reminds us that we're not as different from the ancients as we like to think. We face climate change. We face natural disasters. We depend on complex systems that could unravel. The same forces that brought down their cities could threaten ours. The difference is we have their example to learn from. We can see what happens when civilizations ignore environmental warning signs. We can see how quickly sophistication can turn to abandonment when systems fail. We can choose to learn from their disappearance, even if we can't fully understand it. So the next time you hear about ancient civilizations, remember it's not just Egypt and Rome. Remember that there was once an empire in the Indus Valley that was just as advanced, just as important, and just as real. And remember that they vanished, leaving us with one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. What really happened to the Indus Valley Civilization? We may never know for certain, but the search for answers continues. And with every new discovery, we get a little closer to hearing the voices of a people who vanished into history. If you want to see more mysteries like this, check out the next video.